Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the end of the year Booster Club Athletic Dinner, which this year had some special people being introduced to the community, and that would be our Hall of Fame.
This is one of my favorite end of the year activities. It's a very special night for our athletes and our parents. However, tonight is a special evening for another reason. Tonight we will applaud the first inductees to our newly established East Brunswick Athletic Hall of Fame. Many thanks to Frank Knoppenberger for bringing this vision to the district's recognition committee. It will give us the means to recognize those individuals who have made a significant contribution to our athletic program. Thank you also to the committee who worked closely with Mr. Knoppenberger to establish the criteria. And I'd like to share that criteria with you this evening. A recognition committee to induct honorees will take place every 2 years. A commemorative plaque will be placed at the high school near the gymnasium, including the inductees' names and position. The eligibility period for retired, deceased employees and volunteers begins 3 calendar years after their separation date. The recognition committee, made up of representatives from the Board of Education, the Central Office Administration, the East Brunswick Principals and Supervisors Association, and the East Brunswick Education Association, shall convene in early December of the award-giving year to review those individuals who are eligible for consideration.
Our first member, Mr. Reggie Carney, can't be with us. He's climbing mountains or shooting ducks or something out west. I don't know what he's doing out there. But a former player and coach of his, and our former head coach, Katie Mataseski, will come up and receive this honor for Reggie. Let me tell you, Reggie was a physical education teacher, basketball coach, softball coach, and golf coach at East Brunswick. His career, 430 wins in basketball, is second to just one other person in basketball without the state. At East Brunswick, he won a total of 18 championships. He's a member of the EB Wall of Honor. According to Katie Mataseski, he's the best motivator I've ever known and had the uncanny ability to get his girls to play harder and better than they knew they could. Now, what you probably did know about Reggie is that he was a scholarship baseball player at Arizona, and he's in the Sayreville High School Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Reggie Carney. The next person is Jay Doyle, and receiving for him is his son, Jim. Jay Doyle was our first athletic director. Jay Doyle was our first football coach. He was our first wrestling coach. He also is on the EB Wall of Honor. Our stadium is named after Mr. Doyle. He is in the New Jersey Coaches Association and the New Jersey Wrestling Coaches Hall of Fame. According to John Emery, Jay Doyle has established from the beginning a model of decorum, exhibiting high expectations of sportsmanship, integrity, and honest in the performance and competition of the athletics. He himself demonstrates these attributes and set a standard that future coaches could strive to emulate. What you did know about Jay Doyle, that he graduated from Rutgers, he was a Marine, and he polled the students, along with Mr. Emery, on our school colors and mascot. And his son, next to me, Jimmy, is the athletic director at Hawkins School in Ohio. Congratulations, Mr. Doyle.
Why don't you share with the audience what you feel Dad might be thinking about being in the first class of Hall of Fame inductees here at East Brunswick High School?
Well, I was 6 years old when my father passed, so I can speculate, but I've lived with the legend of my father, growing up knowing Mr. Emery, Mr. Ty, Mr. Haston, Coach Weeder. So I think I know the answer to that because I've lived with the legacy of my father for so many years. And I think that he would be, as I said, honored to be included in that group of people, that he was a team guy. It was all about community and building program with the people around him. Everybody was important, and so to build East Brunswick High School athletics with Dud Ty and John Emery and Don Weeder and dozens of other coaches, to be honored with them, I think would be deeply meaningful to him.
How about this one, Jim? How about the idea that, again, your dad and these other coaches are in our first class, and it took us 50 years to get a Hall of Fame. What advice do you think Dad might have for our next generation of coaches?
Well, I think that I think that the advice is that it's being an educator first. That good coaches get the most out of their kids on the court and the mats and in the pool and on the fields and so on. And good coaches teach skill and get kids to work hard every day, but they also teach life skills, team play, playing the game the right way, tremendous character education through athletics. I think that was my father's legacy, solid sportsmanship, and doing things the right way. So I think that's what I say to my coaches as an athletic director, is that it's no shame to aim for championships. We like to win and work hard towards those goals, but really the primary focus is teaching kids to be better people.
And how about an anecdote that you might have? Again, you mentioned being 6 when Dad passed. Maybe it's not a memory you have, but is any particular anecdote you've heard or you can share with our audience about Dad?
Sure. Well, I do remember some things, and one of the things I remember is that my father was always pretty calm. He was a pretty steady person, and he was a thoughtful person. So regardless of the situation, as a coach, as a leader of coaches, my father coached all the way till the end of his life, coached wrestling, and he had a reputation for being pretty even. And I think that's also a good life lesson for me as a coach and as an athletic administrator. But I think for anybody to be steady and focused, that's a pretty good legacy.
Our next person, Mr. John Emery. Mr. John Emery. Come on up, Mr. Emery. Was our first basketball coach and coached from 61 to 77 in boys basketball. He was an assistant football coach during his entire career. He is also on the EB Wall of Honor. According to Bo Henning, John is Mr. EB and has been a mentor, leader, and someone you can always trust. He represents now, exactly as he did through his illustrious career, the class and dignity of the ultimate professional. Congratulations, John. What you may not have known about Mr. Emery, he was a scholarship football player at Rutgers, graduated from Allentown High School in Pennsylvania. He was the scholar athlete there. And he was once a bat boy for Stand-Em Am Usual. Upon his retirement, he worked as our site manager for 10 years. Congratulations, Mr. Emery.
I'm back here at the Chateau with another inductee into the first class, and that would be Mr. John Emery. John spent 35 years up at the high school, and congratulations and welcome, John.
Thanks, Kevin. Thank you. Very happy to be here.
John, as a member of the first class of inductees, it is so special and so important to our community. What does it mean to you?
Well, East Brunswick really has been my life, after my church and my family. I worked for 35 years coaching and teaching, and then when I retired, I was the site manager for another 11 years, and I continue to go to the games. And it really is the most stimulating part of my athletic involvement.
And how about this, John? Being that you and everybody in the class are seasoned veterans coming back from retirement to celebrate this evening, what advice do you have to our younger generation of coaches who are seated in the audience?
Well, they could very well emulate Bo Henning, but I guess we wouldn't consider him as an up-and-coming coach because he's had 29 years but I think he's the epitome of what you would like all of your coaches to be: a hard worker, relates well to the kids, does it the right way. I mean, everything about the program. And I think it's a reflection on Mr. Nottenberger, because if you go to any of our games, you'll see kids playing their hearts out, and they'll shake hands at the conclusion of the game.
And how about this one, John? The storied career that you had is so long and so well known. Is there a particular moment or time period during that coaching experience that jumps out that you could share with us?
Well, I was fortunate to be involved in two sports. I was the head basketball coach and an assistant coach in football for all those years. And the two sports, in my opinion, were very motivational, and game after game, it just was an exciting place to be and to see kids and our fans, as well as myself, just enjoy the competition and the effort that was put forth by everybody.
Great. So once again, congratulations, John, and thanks for sharing this with our audience.
Thanks, Kevin.
Soccer coach, Mr. Dan Haston. His son will receive in his honor. Mr. Hastings was a phys ed teacher throughout the district and last at the high school. He was our head boys soccer coach. His teams have won 20 championship titles. He has 346 wins as the head soccer coach at East Brunswick. He is in the New Jersey Coaches Hall of Fame and the New Jersey Soccer Coaches Hall of Fame. The GMC Sportsmanship Banquet that's going on its 15th year is named after Mr. Dan Hastings. According to Coach McKibben, Coach Hastings represented East Brunswick with true honor and integrity. He preached to his players the importance of academics as the foundation of success for life, and his teams always displayed good sportsmanship. His dedication to the players led to many championships for the Bears. Congratulations, Dan Hastings. This next young man, Mr. Charles M. King. Mr. King has been a teacher, a coach, athletic director, phys ed supervisor, DC of social studies, principal, and a former board member, all at East Brunswick High School. He also had found time to coach golf, bowling, basketball, and football, and is also a member of the EB Wall of Honor. Mr. King had great vision as an educator, especially for the female athlete. His attention to detail and his quest for perfection has been his trademark for success. Congratulations, Mr. King.
As the first class, of something that's going to probably be going on for the next 50 years, since it took us 50 years to get the class, what does it mean to you to be in that first class of the fellow inductees?
Well, it's such an honor, Kevin, to be with a group of guys that you have worked most of your life with, who have always been there for you. And starting with Jay Doyle, John Emery, and some of the other folks that you're going to be talking to, these were some of the finest people that you could ever have the privilege to work with. So being inducted with them certainly was a special honor for me.
How about this? I'm not dating you now by saying this, but you guys are the first generation and the older generation of coaches. What advice might you have for the younger generation of coaches who are out here in the audience?
Well, there's only one way to do it. It's like everything in life. I mean, coaching is no different than anything else that you're going to do. If you're not committed to it, do something else. So the first thing you have to have is the commitment and the dedication to make those athletes the best that they can be. Now, you don't always have a Kentucky Derby winner every year. You don't have the number one athlete in the country. That doesn't make any difference. What makes the difference is what can you give that young person that's going to make them the best they can be and is going to carry over into their future life. So that's what coaching and being involved in athletics is all about.
And then let's spin it one more time back to you. You had a 40-year career here in East Brunswick? In and around?
A few years.
Okay. And you've been removed for about 10 now, enjoying life down in Florida.
I've been in Florida for 10 years.
Okay. How about you just share with our audience maybe your fondest memory of being an East Brunswick administrator, coach? I would sort of maybe keep it in the athletic arena.
In the athletic arena?
Yeah.
Probably having the ability as the athletic director after Mr. Doyle had a heart attack and passed away in 1971 or 72, I believe, and I became athletic director in 73. During that time, I had the opportunity to work with guys like you that were dedicated to get the best out of those athletes. And when you see an athlete, as I said before, when you see them succeed, you know, they're not all, as I said, stars. But if they give you everything they have, you can walk away and they walk away with that smile. And that'll just take you forever. It keeps you going. You know, it's one of those things, and athletics is important to every school. You know, winning can't be the only thing. Winning's important, don't get me wrong. I like to win. We all know that. But getting those young people to be committed and doing the best job that they possibly can is what it's all about.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Charlie King, first class of the Hall of Fame at the high school.
Coach Brady spoke briefly about this legend, Mr. Lou Cosa. Accepting for Mr. Cosa is his son, David. Mr. Cosa was a math teacher. He also was the head baseball coach, but he made his mark as the head girls soccer coach. He has the most wins in New Jersey history with 531 wins. And get this, he has 52 titles as a coach. He's also in the EB Wall of Honor, and in 1992, his team was the #1 in the country by USA Today. Even with his amazing record of success, he downplayed his own role in the achievements of the Lady Bears, forever emphasizing that high school soccer was simply an activity for and about kids. What you didn't know about Coach Cosa, that he was a star athlete at South River, graduated from Trenton State College, and his son David is a coach and teacher in New Jersey. Coach Cosa. Mr. William D. Dudley Tye. Mr. Tye was a phys ed teacher during his career at East Brunswick. He was the first track coach from 1958 to 1993. He was also the head boys basketball coach, also a basketball coach from 59 to 82. He is on the EB Wall of Honor. And I'm sure you know this, but the track is named after him. According to Mr. McAvoy, Coach Tye was a role model to follow once I arrived at EBHS. His detailed approach to craft and workouts, his clerical organization, and his complete knowledge of all track and field events, but most importantly, his relationship with the athletes on the team made for continuing study of do's and don'ts for the high school coach. It was that humility that was the cornerstone of his coaching philosophy that enabled him to become the idol of countless student athletes that we have worked out on the oval that now bears his name, Dudley Tye. I'm sure you all know this because he probably told you. He played basketball at Rutgers. He's in the record book as one of the top rebounders. And this past year, he was inducted into the Milburn Athletic Hall of Fame, Dudley Tye.
And I'm back once again, this time with Superintendent Dr. Joanne Magistro. And Dr. Magistro, it's great being here at this first class induction. I wonder if you could share with our audience, what does it mean to have a Hall of Fame and this one being the first one?
Well, I think it means that you're showing our athletes, what role models that have come over the years, the people who have really set the bar for athletics in East Brunswick Public Schools. And I think that each one of the 8 people that are honored tonight exemplify all the kinds of characteristics that we look for in our student athletes and our coaches. And I'm just thrilled that they were honored tonight.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, and I don't want to take up a lot of your time, but how about an anecdote on one of our coaches, maybe an anecdote on Jay Doyle? Yeah?
Yes, absolutely. Jay Doyle was an absolute gentleman. He was an extraordinary athletic director. I went to just about every one of his wrestling meets, and he was an outstanding wrestling coach. He was just, a marvelous individual. And of course, unfortunately, he wasn't with us as long as we would have liked to have him with us. But certainly the field was named after him, and to this day, everybody, knows Jay Doyle.
Well, the community wants to thank you as well for starting this, and it's something we're looking forward to in the future.
Absolutely, and I know that each time we have people inducted, it will also not only show them our appreciation for all the work that our coaches do above and beyond, and certainly our volunteers as well, but also to continue to emphasize to our students what it means to be a good athlete, a good coach, and a good person.
Last but certainly not least, probably the most successful, no doubt about it, the most successful coach in gymnastics history in New Jersey, Mr. Don Weeder. Mr. Don Weeder spent his career as a phys ed teacher at East Brunswick, also coached football, also a trainer, but it was his gymnastics coaching ability that gave him 252 wins, 16 state championships, that's overall state championships, meaning number 1, and he had 20 scholarship winners. Mr. Weeder is also on the EB Wall of Honor and the most successful gymnastics coach in New Jersey history. According to Mrs. Scarano, Don Weeder is a legend here at East Brunswick High School, an old school gymnastic coach who led EBHS to 16 state championships. Coach Weeder earned the respect and admiration of all around him. He was a true molder of men who demanded and received total commitment from his athletes. A pleasure to work and teach with him, a mentor to all, a real gentleman. Simply stated, Don Weeder is the best.
I can't even tell you how honored I am to be standing here representing this class and representing my father. I'm a class of 1984 graduate of East Brunswick High School, and this is one of my proudest moments on behalf of my family, many of whom are here, my sisters, and certainly on behalf of my father, my brother, and all of the people standing behind me. This is tremendous honor and recognition. And I'll tell you why I think it's an honor and recognition in a second. First, I want to thank Mr. Knoppenberger, East Brunswick High School Athletics and Administration for supporting this. I think it's important. I think it's terrific. It's a tremendous honor. I also want to thank them for supporting my father's legacy. The stadium continues to be named Jay Doyle Field, and in my world as a high school athletic director, I carry that with me every day, that kind of honor, what that means, and why the Jay Doyle legacy continues in East Brunswick. I also think that my father would think it befitting that he was inducted into this Hall of Fame with the people standing behind me. As they made a big impact on his life. Mr. Ty and Mr. Emery go all the way back to Rutgers University with my father, and Mr. Weeder back to the early days of East Brunswick, Mr. Kosa. It's quite an honor. So here's why I think this recognition for these coaches and these men is important. Success on the field and the teaching of lifelong habits that we pick up in high school athletics, they're deliberate. They don't come by mistake. The lessons that I learned from these coaches when I was in high school and from my father are things that I still carry today. They truly did, as Mr. Knoppenberger described, help to build the programs that we have today, and not just the athletic success, but the kind of character building that Coach Henning talked about earlier tonight. The skills to be successful in sport are important, but the skills to be successful in life now while you're in high school and always are critical. Conversely, traditions like this Hall of Fame and honoring the people who came before you, I think, are important for you to recognize. What Coach Henning said, what Coach Knoppenberger has said, it's all important. It's true. Working together as a team, playing those sports with honor and integrity, being team players, and living up to that honor and tradition of the people who came before you, I think are important. So I hope that you commit to your sports, that you continue to make these memories and these tremendous performances, and that you continue to do it the right way, like these coaches are asking you to do. It'll last you a lifetime. So once again, on behalf of the tremendous men behind me and those people who they represent, and my father and my family, thank you very much for the honor.